And gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here for some more EU Dota action. We're already into the draft, so we're just going to hop right into it. Oh my god, cheating moves. We're going into it. Neil, Tsunami, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing? Did you have yourself a nice little break? The games are just going one after the other. Too many of them.
There's a lot. Welcome to the hub environment, I suppose. But at least I'm getting to see Planet Dog do some work. Back-to-back games. Just now we saw them pretty resoundingly beat Danish Bears, and Danish Bears are not in the bottom half of this round-robin standing currently. They were in the top half, but Planet Dog made them look like 4 Protect 5. And 4 Protect 5 is the last place currently.
Oh, okay, fine. 4 Protect 5 like that. Come on
I won't
now.
do 4 Protect 5 like that, but I will do Crescendo like that, because a lot of people were like, oh, Crescendo's going to be second place for show. Sure, just because it had the star power of like Cinderin and stuff like that, but they haven't played very many matches at all before this qualifier. In fact, I was surprised that they got a direct regional invite. I thought that they would have to go open, but you know, again, they have the star power, and they have not really been reflecting it. They are tied with 4 Protect 5. Sorry,
I mean,
4 Protect 5.
That's the thing, though. Like who else are you gonna invite? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a rough one.
I mean, well, they could just go the South America route where they just invited like 3 people or something like that.
That's
but,
true.
Yeah.
I think that it is a little bit of an issue, the Tier 2 scene sort of not being as robust as it maybe once was, and because of that, it means that your regional qualifier is a little bit more lackluster, but by and large, you know what, it's fine. We end up getting some good Dota regardless, and some more great Dota. Ancient Apparition coming out from Penta Sports.
This is like a North America hero.
Yeah.
Not an EU hero. How about SEA? You been seeing it at SEA?
No. No,
Yeah.
we haven't really. We did see it just a couple of games ago. Secret ran it. Together with like a Sand King Faceless Void. That was like the opening, was Sand King Faceless Void and then Ancient Apparition third pick. It was so weird. This makes more sense with it also, just amping up that magical damage.
Yeah, Ice Vortex synergizes super well with all of Venomancer's stuff, because not only is it yet another slow on top of Venomancer's many slows, but it's basically like a little teeny tiny AoE Veil of Discord, because it's 30% increased magic damage once you plop it down somewhere, and it's 30% slow as well. And if you, I mean, it's a 4-second cooldown, so you can just toss those things all around in a team fight, and then if Earthshaker manages to get in the vicinity, drop down some of his spells, then these, no matter how tanky your heroes are, there's only so much damage amp that you can handle.
You ready for the strat right now?
Let's hear it.
Penta Sports, they run offlane Elder Titan, Earthshaker roaming, and then they take Quap Blast. I think this is a good decision by Rubik. No field needed.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Alright,
Oh,
Lone
that's
Druid's
not
pretty
magic
good too.
damage. Is it though? How much Lone Druid have you been seeing recently?
A decent amount in Europe, actually. It depends on what team runs it. If it's a team that feels very confident in their Lone Druid play, it's shown to be quite potent, and it can work. It's the melee form of Lone Druid, and that comboed together with Plague Ward push, it's something that's a little bit hard to deal with. I think it does tip the hand that this is going to be a mid-Veno, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. And plus, even though it's mostly physical damage, I suppose the Radiance that will inevitably come on top of the bear does add on to the magic damage comp that Penta seems to be gearing up towards. So, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, they go for a Clinks instead. I've seen 2 games this qualifier of Pipe first Drow Ranger. Well, it wasn't first the second game, but in the first time I saw it, it was a Drow Ranger who got like Aquila, Pipe.
Okay.
And she won.
Okay.
The second Pipe did not win.
Yeah.
But if there were ever a game for a first item Pipe, this is it for Planet Dog. But instead they're going to go for a Clinks. A favorite of theirs, actually. They're a big fan of these kinds of carries that are able to take down structures with minimal help for the most part, and also carries that come online fairly early and can participate in these kind of gank attempts, or basically abandon their lane once they get 1 or 2 major, or basically your first major item, 1 minor item, and start, you know, in this case doing stuff with the Bat Rider or doing stuff with the Sand King.
And I think that it's a hero that when it works, it looks beautiful, and when it doesn't work, the hero just feels so ineffective.
Yeah, it's very feast or famine.
He turns into like this, you know, picking off any range number of heroes. If he even catches like a lone druid, if he starts to get really farmed, he could probably find that kill as well. But it's sort of the combo of that and the Bat Rider together, which is really going to be deadly in the mid game until the snowball starts rolling.
Which is why I hope that Planet Dog, they need to pick like a mid that can rotate easily, I think, because Rubik is not the best lane support, and Klinks is not really the strongest. Like, he's not gonna have a Crystal Maiden on his team, and that's usually one of the strongest synergies because Searing Arrows is just like so good at lane harass, but Klinks does not have the int or mana regen to put it up. And so, okay, I actually really like the Storm Spirit. Only stunts you need to be concerned about are Earthshakers, and Earthshaker's cast animations are so garbage for the most part that you can dodge it as Storm Spirit. If you're able to shut Earthshaker down early on, then you also don't even need to worry too much about Blink Echo, so I'm a big fan of the Storm Spirit pick.
I think it also... The thing that I'm worried about now for Planet Dog is that it does feel like it's very pick-off oriented, and with Penta Sports, they've got Venno, they got Lone Druid, these are heroes that want to get ahead and then start just like running down, grouping up, balling up, taking towers. If they take like a Greaves carrier here, I don't really know how Planet Dog deal with that. Yeah, I mean, why not? But like the big thing is that I think Planet Dog are looking to try and not allow that to happen. They need to come out of the laning stage ahead. This feels really, really good to me. I like this pick a lot, and I guess that it might end up being one of a couple of things. I guess it's just going to be that mid Venno, Lone Druid safe, and then Venge.
No, it looks like Lone Druid offlane because Skeeter is the one position for Penta, so it's a core VS. I guess maybe she can't solo up against a Bat Rider.
Well, I think that's you keep Ancient Apparition there, then I would imagine, and maybe even just
like
Earthshaker.
2-1-2, or well, I guess DNZ might be spending some time bullying the Storm Spirit early on. So, the thing is that, well, actually, I guess Lone Druid with the Bear provides enough harass for Klinks. The thing is that, like, you put in like 3 or 4 Searing Arrows into Lone Druid, and all of a sudden he's at like a quarter HP. So if Planet Dog goes super aggressive on the Bear early on, then this laning arrangement is going to get punished heavily. Because ideally he needs the third hero of Earthshaker to keep him safe. But Earthshaker's probably going to be spending time mid helping out Venomancer, because Venno, yes, he does deal mostly magic damage, and Storm Spirit is a hero that's known for having very high armor, so good mitigation against right-clicks, specifically not so much the poison DOTs, but still, it's not, it's a pretty even lane, the mid-lane matchup, but you want to give Venno an edge, because as the game progresses, if the two heroes equal farming each other, the Venomancer and the Storm Spirit's always going to come out on top.
Well, I guess that we'll just have to wait and see if they are the laning matchups are what we think they are. If it's going to be, you know, enough early pressure. It feels like it's certainly still like offlane Lone Druid is still something that I think has capable of getting a decent timing on a Radiance. I don't think you build that Bear any other way.
No, I mean you can go Midas sometimes. Or
they're switching it up. They're saying I'm safe lane, I guess, for the moment.
Oh, it may be just like solo safe lane, and then they'll tri-lane the Vengeful. Then I think, I mean, I feel like they should dodge this and send Swift Ending top.
We'll see if they end up catching wind that that's indeed what's happening or not.
Because I think a Bat Rider has a much easier time against this tri-lane than a Klinks would. And right now Swift Ending does look like he's moving towards the upper part, because Radiant did place this ward near their safe lane. Now, granted, everyone's smoked up, and it looks like Milan might find out. He sees Boogie, and he's like, I don't have any on my team here.
He has Gale leveled 1. This is still pretty good. I think that in the laning stage, whoever it is that's down there could end up running into some issues with this.
Okay, well, Sand King just briefly saw Vengeful Spirit for a second. So, I mean, again, an invasion and then like a lane switch isn't unreasonable, but if Klink stays in that bot lane, he's going to be pretty boned.
I think they're switching up again. They're saying Lone Druid mid.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, and this is a much better matchup
Oh, yeah.
for
Oh, yeah,
Blazemon.
yeah. Well, of course it is. Blazemon's the mid player. Yeah. Okay.
I like this a lot. And the big thing, too, is that eventually Venomancer gain points into his wards. Should be able to deal a decent ability to, you know, not get taken out by the Batrider, I'd imagine. He might run into some trouble early on here. If J4 sticks around and waits till Batrider gets level 2, they could probably find a kill, or maybe even just get a kill as they bring all 3.
And there's a very aggressive ward placed as well, so it very clearly sees where Venomancer is positioned. The thing is that he's playing it extremely safe.
He also has boots first, which is a nice little tidbit as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see right here already they've switched it up. 33 down here in the bottom lane, trying to soak up whatever experience he can get. I do like this, although it looks like DNZ might run into him. There's a Firefly to head off the other direction. Will not get caught. Okay. It's going to pull the creep wave past.
Okay. I mean, Firefly's not going to last that long, so he still needs to be careful. It's going to end soon.
He might be in some trouble. Slowed down for the moment
If they
by that
block
Ice Vortex. This is a problem.
Oh,
he
no,
is
he
in
can slip
trouble.
out.
33 is out of there. Just barely.
If they got that fissure off, that would have been amazing. But yeah, 33 is going to slip out. I don't really know what the purpose of that Firefly invasion was, but yeah, you could sell it.
I think that he was worried about getting caught, and well, now Boogie
Strafe.
also going to be
Clink's
getting
hitting.
caught and taken down. First blood going to the Clinks.
If Clinks wasn't level 2, that kill was not going to happen, but Strafe plus Searing Arrows is way too much to deal with. But you can see
this might end up being a dead Storm Spirit here in the mid lane. They've got the Ice Vortex. There's the block off with the Fissure. No way out for him.
Yeah, no
and with the right clicks and the Savage Roar, he doesn't even get the kill on the bear. It goes to the tower instead.
Yeah, it sucks. If he got the kill on the bear, it actually might have been a fair trade. But unfortunately not.
Breaking 2 clarities. Well done by Milan. All right, that's value and a half.
Yeah, it is. Economic damage.
This is sort of showing off again the power of that. Oh, break another clarity. Do it. You know you want to. He doesn't have any more clarities. That sucks for Earthshaker. I know. Well, they are going to be able to chase them out of there. But yeah, this is a really unfortunate situation. He ends up getting a third one to him by virtue of J4. That's the flippity dip, and DNZ going to be left with only one fissure to make things happen. Although, actually, he doesn't even have that now.
Secure some farm, but Clinks is pretty pleased with how things are going so far. Was able to kill off that solo Veno. He's getting his levels. And once he hits level 6, much like a Slark, the rest of his supports can just leave him, because Death Pact provides you more than enough sustain. Rubik can go around to other lanes, and Lone Druid's a pretty easy gank. Once Storm Spirit hits level 6, you basically just need to play around the Savage Roar, and early on, it doesn't last for that long that Storm Spirit can close the gap that a Savage Roar creates. Like, you get roared, you get forced to walk back, but then you can just Ball Lightning back into the Lone Druid, and then he has nothing.
I mean, this I do think is still kind of a bit of a thing, though. Like, Lone Druid is getting enough farm here that if things do start to get to that, like, level 6, they're very aware of what these timings are also. And, you know, an Earthshaker Fissure, if he moves over towards mid, can help to break up any gank attempt that would come his way. So I guess that it needs to be, like, a pretty well-executed gank by Planet Dog. And the other thing is that if they don't try and shut him down and your Lone Druid is able to get up to that Indomitable Force early, it could be a pretty huge problem. And, well, spots out that there's a regen rune there. Milan forced to take it.
Yeah, I've been watching the courier for like the past 45 seconds. Unfortunately, someone used the haste on the courier, and Kaiser was hoping to deliver his bottle back. It was moving super slow, and then someone else auto-delivered the courier, and so it was ever so slowly flying to the bot lane, and then Kaiser was like, no, it has a bottle on it. You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
So he's not going to pick up that regen rune, unfortunately, on the Storm Spirit, and as a result, Lone Druid actually gets like a lot of time farming all by himself just because of all these courier mishaps. But yeah, Lone Druid managing to get a lot of farm. Not only is it going to create pressure once like Storm Spirit starts to go gank, because your tower is going to get killed very, very quickly, but a quick Radiance timing is also going to be very difficult for Planet Dog to deal with.
Uh-oh. Another kill possibly coming out here. They block in Swift Ending and J4, but not entirely easy to,
Boogie's too low
secure
level.
this. And in fact, if they're not careful.
Swift Ending. He's not 6 yet.
They're scouting this out though. J4 is going to have another lift in 4 seconds if they can get there and in range. And I think that it might be enough. But now with Milan here as well, he is super dead. And on top of that, they might even be able to finish off this stack. A couple hits of Caustic with the Searing Arrow. It's a possibility. At least some of them.
Yeah, it's not often that you see a Venomancer get bullied this hard, but it's because he does not really have very much support. The Sand King and the AA are in the vicinity now, but the damage has already been done. Clinks is out-leveling a solo Venomancer, effectively.
Oh, the Fissure blocks him in. Does actually not block them in. Swift Ending, the dust is there. They're going to try and stop them off, and well, Jab's being forced back again, but they will finally find that kill on the Clinks. Can they get any more? It looks like they'll take that Ancient Apparition. Slowed down by the Poison Touch from Boogie by virtue of those. And another
nice
block
Fissure.
off. J4 now in trouble, and, well, they might need to... They actually can't get there to pop the Shrine to save his life. It wouldn't have mattered anyways.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. Well, actually, no, he wasn't in range.
Yeah.
The range ends at the top of the stairs, so yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. And Lone Druid shows up just to get a little bit of assist gold. But again, he has nothing better to do. Lone Druid is free farming in this mid lane.
And Kaiser, Invis Rune bottled, not really a rune that's a kill-oriented one unless you have one of those points in Electric Vortex early, which Storm Spirit has not opted for. So Lone Druid, still left to his own devices, is building towards that Hand of Midas.
Yeah, and Lone Druid also not one of these heroes that necessarily needs stacks. And so his supports are off doing useful stuff. Like, earlier on, Venomancer was definitely not having a pleasant time against his Clinks, but that one kill rotation was very fruitful in being able to kill him off. Yes, your AA did have to die in exchange, but Venomancer needed a way to come back, and all this time that the supports are investing in it, the Venomancer are worth it, because like I said, Lone Druid does not need any help right now.
Swift Ending popped Strafe and did just like some damage to these creeps, but didn't actually end up taking any of them down. I don't know if that was just like not...
He's planning for the future.
Right, but I mean, they have the aura from the creeps as well.
Oh,
like,
you're right, the HP aura. Yeah.
It's not really going to do that much. So that's a little bit unfortunate. And
he's about to hit level 6, though.
It feels like this is all just oriented towards trying to make things happen. And the big TP rotation down bottom.
I am surprised he's doing this now before he's hit level 6, but I guess Batrider has Lasso, but he's getting slowed.
And they get it. They don't end up being able to quite make this play, and DNZ is here. They swap him back out yet again to save the Vengeful Spirit's life. Not a bad play there, and looks like they will lose the Earthshaker, but they keep the Vengeful Spirit alive.
Yeah, that's what matters in the end. Well done by DNZ to show up and quick fingers to get out of that swap situation. Storm Spirit had balled in, but he's just level 6 and
look at this, Jabs.
Vortex. Yeah, he's dead.
He got the bounty rune.
Yeah, but he's dead.
I mean, I think you would take that one. That's an okay little trade there.
Only because Milan got the Caustic last hit inadvertently. If Kaiser got the kill, then I would have been like, no bounty rune is worth that. But if Sand King gets the kill, yeah, it's absolutely
I mean, look at this guy.
worth
He's 700 net worth. He's not giving any amount of gold over. Like, bounty rune almost doubled his.
Double damage rune on this Lone Druid bear.
Oh.
TP was cancelled.
Yeah, it's painful.
You gotta,
That's painful.
Yeah.
The tower is dead now because of that.
You gotta turn on that option.
That really hurts.
You gotta turn on that option. No TP cancel unless you hit the stop.
Yeah,
oh,
why don't we talk about that for a moment?
Pause disconnect.
Milan is not happy.
Fix your hotkeys, Kaiser.
That's fine. Okay, so 9 minutes in, I think that Penta Sports are completely happy with the game, the way that this game has gone.
Aside from the Venomancer.
I don't even know if that matters though, because like he's not the most important part of the strategy. Like the Venge is the one who's going to be building into survivability items and aura items, and then you've got this Lone Druid who's almost got the Midas and taken the mid tower at 9 minutes.
That's true, but an underfarmed Venomancer is going to be food for a Clinks, because I mean, for what it's worth, like somehow Venomancer is only like 200 net worth behind the Clinks, which is very, very strange to me. But it's a testament to how well Boogie has managed to make these recovery kills happen. So it's not things are definitely great for Penta right now. They could be better, but they're pretty great. So at right now, you have no real incentive to do anything. Like, if your team manages to find an opportunity to group as 5, of course you can push. You've got Avenge, you've got a Lone Druid, you've got a Venomancer. If no opening comes, if you don't need to do any counter initiation, all 3 of these heroes are also very content to farm. The supports are content to farm. Earthshaker doesn't need to do anything. If you need to do some counter initiation, go for it. Otherwise, go farm in the jungle. Same thing with AA. If you are needing to help your Venomancer, go help him. Otherwise, try to get your Midas.
Yeah. And I think that as long as Blazemon doesn't end up dying in the jungle by virtue of the Clinks, then that's all good and well. If they can keep on securing towers, it's even more beneficial, and you can see that the itemization that's coming out, it's more oriented towards those fighting, pushing items. You have an Aquila that's going to be completed pretty soon here for the Venomancer. It looks like drums are on the menu for the Vengeful Spirit. And as far as what Planet Dog have to try and deal with this, you know, Batrider, he's great at being able to keep the lanes pushed out, but I don't think that Storm Spirit is a hero that wants to get 5-manned into. That's not really what he likes to have to go up against. He wants to find pickoffs in the jungle, and that's kind of the strength of Planet Dog's lineup. I don't think they have the heroes, with the exception of like Sand King, Blink Dagger, Epi, to make that happen. But he's level 4 right now. Like, this push that's coming is going to be really hard to contend with.
Yeah, it'll probably be dependent on the Clinks doing split pushy things in the meantime. But Clinks is not really farmed enough. Like, this isn't a free farming Clinks who is able to get himself. Well, he's completed a medallion, which is pretty good, and that's why he's been going for these rotations even before he was hit. Even before he had hit level 6 for that Death Pact, he figured that the medallion would be enough to kill off that Vengeful Spirit, but Earthshaker's rotation was too good. So yeah, I absolutely agree. The counter push from Planet Dog is definitely lacking.
Oh, we got Sand King back. Milan, he's forgiven the Storm Spirit for canceling CP. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it probably does change things.
No, look how low that bear is. That bear would have definitely either had to be resummoned or died.
And you're only, what, 200 gold off of your Hand of Midas now for Lone Druid?
Yep.
Blazemon is a happy camper. Alright, we're into it. We're doing it. It's happening. The Smoke Gank is going down towards bottom. They do have Dust available, but it looks like Clinks does not have any wishes to be there. They probably smoked right underneath that ward that is placed for Planet
Yeah, that's
Dog.
possible. At least they're giving Vengeful Spirits some room, but it doesn't seem like anyone was landing here to begin with. Batrider has decided to do other stuff. There are no stacks for him, I believe, but he's just farming up the jungle. Swift Ending has Death Pact to creep, but it's about to time out, actually, so he's not going to actually have that much damage, and he's not going to contest this bot tier 1. I think they're just going to let that go for the reasons that we mentioned. They don't have great anti-push.
Boogie finishes off that stack now. It was almost dead by the time we were going, but now he's third highest net worth. The Midas is done.
Oh, they're going, actually.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary. He talked about it. If they can guess someone can get here.
It's a level 4 Sand King. He has 2 points in Burrow Strike. That's nothing.
It's going to get caught. They still have the swap if they want to do it, and, well, Jabs, he's going to end up dying for the cause.
It's okay. He's back in 7 seconds.
I mean, immediately Boogie pushes this out and has 5 Plague Wards that are hidden onto the tower. Like,
yeah.
He's
making
fine.
use of his time, yeah. And it's just Rubik here to do this. It takes him so many right clicks to farm these wards.
Yeah.
Look, he can't even do it.
Yeah, he can't. It's just, it's really rough. He will have his Arcanes.
All right.
Bits and pieces. You find the silver linings in the cloud of despair. You almost have Arcanes on Earthshaker too.
I mean, he has level 6. If he could steal Plague Ward, that would be really nice. That's why he was moving up whenever, like, he wasn't farming the Plague Wards, he was just trying to steal Plague Wards. And that will provide some anti-push.
Yeah.
So, but Rubik has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, assuming he's ever able to get some clothes.
And that he doesn't die. That's
Yeah.
the other big thing. The drums almost complete now for the Venge, as Lone Druid is building towards the Radiance. Like, this is the other thing too. All of these movements that are around the map for Planet Dog, it's to try and deal with the Vengeful Spirit that's pushing at the lane. It's to try and deal with the Venomancer who's slow sieging your tower. None of this is addressing the problem of this Lone Druid. And on top of that, he doesn't care that much about his levels that he's getting, so your Ancient Apparition is able to farm up the rest of that experience that's around that area too. So I really feel like Penta have just developed a well-designed draft. What's the way to stop this for Planet Dog?
It'll have to be sloppy play from Penta, because these three heroes are all split. Like, Venomancer has not left the top lane, Lone Druid has not left the mid lane, VS has not left the bot lane. If you're able to focus this isolation and take advantage of this isolation, then things can start looking around for Planet Dog. That's what Storm Spirit loves. It's not what Rubik loves.
Yeah, J4 just gone.
Storm Spirit loves, like you said, like he doesn't want to have to go into 5, and Penta aren't 5ing, but the problem is that Storm Spirit just does not have anything. He can't go back to the mid lane because Lone Druid's too big now. He's just been farming up the jungle for like the past 10 minutes or so, or not 10 minutes, but the past 5 minutes or so.
Yeah. So bottom lane is being pressured. You have 3-3 off to the side here. No Blink Dagger yet. Still around, what is that, 700, 800 gold away from finishing it off. Jabs is in the area to soak up the experience from the dead creeps while still maintaining a little bit of vision. But it's trade-off of towers, and we'll see if they can find that Ancient Apparition or not.
Man, this is so patient from Jabs. I would have definitely...
Oh, Bat Rider got stuck in the trees.
It doesn't matter. He's going to get spotted out by Milan.
Yeah.
Poor... He did everything right. Poor Ancient Apparition. But, yeah, he didn't put an Ice Vortex down on the creep wave. He didn't try to put down a Cold Feet to draw aggro away, but... Sometimes this, even all that's not enough, and Boogie finally migrates to a different lane. He's got 4 points in Poison Touch, 4 points in Plague Wards, has more than recovered from that depressing laning phase. They can't kill him. He doesn't have any points in Poison Nova, but still, like, once he gets 3 Plague Wards up, no one can come into this tower range.
The other important thing is that this build he's gone for, he's got 1100 HP, and under tower, it's 15 armor with the Medallion build. And again, this is all things that are oriented towards that eventual siege that's going to be coming from the Radiance Bear. Like, it's just a very single-mindedly designed draft from Penta.
Yeah, I would say that Solar Crest would definitely, like, it's not common to see Medallion on Venomancer, I would say, but this game... I would have figured it's more likely to go on top of the Vengeful Spirit. The Vengeful Spirits generally these days are going for these kind of hood builds, and against a Storm Spirit, against a Bat Rider, against a Sand King, hood is definitely going to have a lot of power, and someone needs to frontline siege it. Lone Druid Bear is obviously a great frontline siege, but you need more than just one target, otherwise that one target is going to get burrowed and strafed and stuff like that, medallioned by the Clinks, and it's going to go down a lot quicker than you'd think.
The other thing that's nice about it is that it means that Veno can kind of just come to these lanes after they've been pushed out a bit and drop down a couple wards, and they don't feel like diving him because it's a Venomancer, you don't know if he has ulti, and then on top of that, you also have the problem of, you know, the extra armor keeping him even more tanky and hard to deal with.
There are 5 heroes in the bot area. Lone Druid has finally decided to leave mid. Working on that Relic. Pretty close to it, just about like 900 gold away. And then after that, things start getting much quicker for him.
Yeah, this is spooky to say the very least. Clank's trying to get into a Dragon Lance, something to allow him to just actually have some ability to fight in these engagements. Like, if he tries to show up right now with limited range, he's just going to get blown up by all this magical damage. So being able to maybe zip in and out of the fights would be a better way to do it.
Ooh, an AA is level 6 now as well.
There's that an AA Blast. Going to connect onto Milan. Just a little, hey, how you doing?
Oh, DNC, what?
That's not supposed to happen.
Whoa, okay. I'm asleep at the wheel right now.
I don't know how the hell that happened.
How does that happen? He didn't even have
got
a blink
swapped.
dagger.
They swapped him into it, I bet. Yeah, swap level 1 into an Echo Slam. Alright, that's pretty good.
I mean, that is pretty good, but like, still, that should not be happening.
Yeah.
I'll take your tribute.
Well, our apologies.
And now a Veil done. More armor for the Venomancer. 24 went under a tower. You're not going to kill this guy.
No. Okay, at least Clinks is definitely not going to kill him. And once, if... Well, actually, yeah, I believe Skeeter VS is going to complete the hood into a full pipe. At which point Venomaster is... Yeah, you're not gonna kill him. Honestly, if Veno went Blade Mail, I wouldn't object to it.
DNZ is going to be scouted out here by Swift Ending, but now he's under the tower. Is going to die to... No!
Oh, what a smoke!
Nicely done by DNZ.
That was well played.
All right. Well, that hurts. You want to kill. You want
Swift
something.
Ending is very sad right now. This is not what you want as a Clinks. You want something. All of his kills have happened in the laning phase on the Venomancer and other assorted targets. That's not... It's the other way around. You're not supposed to get kills early on as a Clinks, and you are supposed to get kills later on and once you complete a medallion, but Swift Ending has just been stonewalled by Penta right now.
That really sucks. And DNZ back up to full HP. He's not even going to be able to get the tower. Like, it's not only just the fact that it is not a kill, it's like the moral component.
I can't even kill an Earthshaker!
Like, all these things are just such a big problem. And so Blazemon now getting that talent updated, so he is going to get the plus 50 damage onto Spirit Bear, so it's dealing right around 200 damage a piece right now. This is where it really starts to become a problem.
Getting closer and closer to that Radiance recipe, and after that, I wouldn't be surprised if Penta feels like 5-manning. They've completed most of their important items. They could wait for Skeeter's Pipe on the Vengeful Spirit. If necessary, they could wait for... Well, actually, no, Blink Dagger on DNZ is too far away, but they don't need it, really. Like, if Planet Dog want to start a fight, they have to... Like, Planet Dog are the ones that have to initiate. Penta does not have to initiate. You can just let the Lone Druid attack. You can just let the Plague Wards attack. You don't need to have an Earthshaker initiated.
3-3, he's here. They have the A-Blast that's going as well. They've been able to catch onto one. It's the Vengeful Spirit. Doesn't end up making any difference at all. They'll kill off DNZ, but you're perfectly fine with that kill going that way. Can they get any more Blazemon? They get the Savage Roar swap away. They are going to be able to get that kill at the very least. Penta, though, they get the Veno ulti onto 2 Kaiser right away. It's going to be a dead Clinks to boot. Everybody dropping. And most importantly, it's the Lone Druid who stands tall in all of this. Radiance done.
The Lone Druid surviving is big, because he has not been really sitting around in melee form. He's a squishy target, one of the squishiest, aside from like the supports. Instead, they went for the lasso on the Vengeful Spirit, and they ultimately do kill the Vengeful Spirit and the Earthshaker after all that engagement, giving Swift Ending 2 kills. But then Boogie gets 2 kills, one on the Sand King and then one on the Clinks. So, as it is, that's a pretty mediocre fight for Planet Dog, but then proceeding to lose Roche is also just, when it rains, it pours.
And this is the moment, too, when if you have the Aegis on Lone Druid, he is going to be able to have a resummon here on top of the bear, probably just shrine up and then head down lanes. I don't really see how you kill off this bear and then also deal with everything else that's on the docket for Penta. They're just too strong and hard to deal with.
And again, this is all pre-pipe Vengeful Spirit. A lot of that damage in that fight came from the Storm Spirit. Even though Clinks got the kill on the Earthshaker, he had to spend Strafe pretty much entirely just to kill an Earthshaker. And you usually want to spend just like 2 or 3 Strafe attacks trying to kill off a support like that. Swift Ending observes a Venomancer TPing right in front of him, and he was hoping that Milan would be able to get in range for a Burrow Strike, but unfortunately not going to happen.
Very frustrating. Bloodstone was done before that last fight, and Storm Spirit now has 14 charges in the inventory, so he can keep the farm going. But again, even if you finish off this Orchid in the next couple of minutes, by the time the push is going to be coming, I don't really know how you deal with it. Like, this is the timing right now. I don't know what you do to stop this. Veno has Pipe on the way right now. Actually, no, excuse me. It's going to be, I think, the completed mechanism? Yeah, he has completed mech now.
Yeah, he's going for mech. Vengeful Spirit is the one going for the Pipe.
So, this is... like, honestly, this could potentially just be a lane of Brax. I don't know if you can stop this pressure.
You have Epicenter, you have Lasso. So if they get a good... Oh, well, so Lone Druid's the best person to go on, but thankfully he does go into melee form. You may just have to dump all your spells on the bear.
Look at how much damage this bear does. I don't think they can kill him off in time, and also, like...
I think you need to kill the bear.
Alright, well, they're going to take the bear down once. We got a resummon now. Bear man.
Battle Cry's on cooldown for 40 seconds, though.
and the Plague Ward's going to start to deal their damage.
You should do this. You shouldn't send the bear in again, I don't think. Because I would lasso the bear if I was 33. Because you have enough damage to kill the bear, and there's no Blink Dagger on Earthshaker that you need to be concerned about counter initiation. If you blow a lasso on the bear, then that's fine.
Bear goes up. Bear will run into that. Epicenter comes out. They're starting to bring it low. Fissure as well. They mech the bear. They turn it back around.
I like
A
that.
blast comes out.
They're
They
not-
steal Gale, but it is still going to be the tier 3 tower down.
You should have lassoed the bear, in my opinion. Because now, what are you going to do for the next... Like, the lasso is going to be on cooldown for a minute and a half if you lasso the bear. Are you going to get a lasso in the next 90 seconds? I am skeptical.
In the meantime, they were able to take down a tier 2 tower in the top lane. Klink's doing his best with what he was given. And with the back of that, they can go and take shrines if they want to, or just keep the farm game going. But it is still not an incredibly one-sided game. Like, Penta has lost some net worth during that time because of the split push that came out.
Right, and that's what I said had to happen, because you had said the push is terrible. Oh my god.
Well,
Swift ending.
yeah, this is a dead DNZ. I don't know if they're going to be able to punish him at all.
Yeah.
It looks like Klinks just
In
gets
fact,
out.
Skeeter might be overstaying. Okay, they do find a lasso in the next 90 seconds.
Wait a minute, though. This is a blast coming in as well. It's there on to Swift Ending. If the rest of the heroes are able to get here in time, Skeeter is so freaking taking it. Swap him out. Is going to be running low. He is going to die. Now they turn. Burrow Strike comes out onto that Venomancer. Boogie in trouble. He has Venomous Gale as well as his ulti, and they are going to force the deny from the Storm Spirit. Now they've overstayed their welcome. The bear is there, both of them in fact, and they're able to take down 2-3 with the Bloodstone deny.
Yeah, it's not great that Storm Spirit had to kill himself. If they were able to get that kill onto the Earthshaker initially and then follow up with that kill on the Vengeful Spirit, and that was all that it cost, it would have been great. But the problem is Lone Druid proceeds to get larger and larger, and Vengeful Spirit has done her job. She completed her pipe. Anything else that happens now is just a bonus. The rest of the team is here to help make sure that Lone Druid is able to be all the bear that he can be. And that's why Venomancer built a mech. That's why the Vengeful Spirit built a pipe. That's why this Earthshaker has been as a hard support, because it doesn't matter if he gets a Blink Dagger, because you just need to let the Lone Druid bear siege. You don't need to actively start team fights. And so they do go for a lasso, and it does net them a kill, but maybe they shouldn't have gone for that fight if it costs Storm Spirit so much.
Milan is here to try and cut the creep wave, and he is going to be scouted out by that ward. They ping, realize he's going to be doing it.
They have one creep wave on this
Looks
tower
like this
already.
should be a pretty easy tier 2 tower. Maybe they'll have to stop for... Actually, wait, he didn't even cut off the whole creep wave, so they could even maybe think about going for the tier 3 here again.
I spun Battle Cry on this tier 2. I don't think that was necessary, but they can try to get some tower on it. I mean, damage on it.
Storm Spirit does have a TP himself, as does the Klinks, but they're just holding on to it for the moment. He just wears off, and it looks like will be Penta backing out. I mean, the most important thing, though, is that it's 2 tier 2 towers down, a tier 3 tower down the bottom lane. They take the shrines, and the next Roshan, the one that could potentially end the game, is going to be heavily into the favor of Penta as far as their ability to secure that area.
Yeah, and I guess for what it's worth, Planet Dog do have a reasonably strong team fight inside the pit, but so do Penta, and based on how fun this Lone Druid is, I will guaranteed give the edge to Penta, as now Blazemon has completed a full Assault Cuirass to put on the bear, and he's working on a BKB for the bear next, at which point you will have no choice but to lasso the bear if you want to stop that siege, because none of your other spells are going to do anything, and Klinks does not deal enough physical damage to kill the bear either.
He's been able to finish off a BKB of his own, trying to go back now into the Desolator, as it looks like Penta grouped up. They want to try and make another move, I guess, towards bottom. This is kind of a curious decision. I guess that maybe they want to try and secure some racks before they end up going even for the Roche.
Right, because it's the naked racks, so Roche isn't going to be up until like a minimum of 3 minutes from now. So at the minimum, you want to make sure that Klinks isn't being able to find farm elsewhere. You want him to force, you want to force all of Planet Dog just going to be chilling in their base rather than finding farm across the map. And so they're going to back off because Klinks is creating pressure on this mid area. Same with Sand King.
They missed the fissure. Pressure up on tier 3 top lane.
I mean, this tier 3 top has gotten kind of low with all this chip damage for what it's worth. So Klinks has been doing work.
Yeah. And it will be a regen rune picked up for Kaiser as well. Orchid now done. It's at 10 Bloodstone charges. It's at the beginning of the turnaround for Planet Dog. They're only about a 1 to 2k lead right now for Penta.
But a lot of big items just got completed. Earthshaker has now completed his Blink Dagger. So, again, I don't think that they should start fights, even though DNZ does have this Blink Dagger. Unless if you see the Storm Spirit, I don't think anyone else is worth initiating on. At most, I would say that the Blink is great for counter-initiation against a Bat Lasso. If Bat Lasso someone, then immediately Earthshaker can lasso on Bat Rider's team and just slam them all so to make sure that they can't follow up on the successful lasso.
Again going to push this out. Has the 4 points in Sandstorm right now, getting levels and making sure that they don't just get 5-man down the lane, at least yet. So, waiting to see when that Roche time is going to be, if it respawns shortly or not. And the timing is about middle of the road.
Yeah, it's definitely in the favor of Planet Dog all time on their side. Storm Spirit working on a BKB right now. Clinks has that BKB completed, which you don't really want to have to go for a second item BKB as a Clinks. You really would prefer to have that Desolator much more, but I understand why Swift Ending would go for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that's
Lone
needed.
Druid's about to hit level 20 as well. So if he goes for the... Oh, yep, he's hit level 20. Oh, wow, he goes for the armor, actually. I thought he would go for the magic resist.
I guess the big thing that he has to be worried about is the right clicks coming in from Clinks for killing it. Like, if you can get to the point where you can have the pipe and all that other mitigation.
That's true, and plus he's going for a BKB right now, so you just slap that on the bear, and then who cares how much spell resistance you have when all spells do 0 damage.
The scan scouts out the rest of Penta. They know that they're moving in towards mid. J4, be careful, buddy! There's the fissure, connects onto him. The enchant totem as well will get the lift, but that is a dead Rubik for 50 seconds. No buyback.
Yeah, usually you're okay with a Rubik tanking the gank, but 50 seconds when high ground pushing is imminent, and that's...
I mean...
This Rubik went for max Nullfield as well. This Rubik is actually pretty farmed. He got a Blink Dagger, and that's like a tall order this game. But he managed to complete a Blink Dagger, and I was surprised. I was like, wow, is Rubik really dead for that much time? But he's level 13, and he's actually, maxed out Nullfield, only put 2 points in Telekinesis, and that just goes to show the kind of game that this has been, and the big reason why they picked Rubik to begin with. Like you said during the draft, after that AA and the Venomancer were shown, they're like, yeah, we're going to need some spell resist aura.
Well, and I think that they wanted to go into secure Roshan. Unfortunately, that slightly longer respawn time means that they're not going to be able to do it. They will scout out right now that Roche is coming back up, and I would imagine that you make that move for Penta to...
You can make the move, you can send people in the vicinity, but all 5 of them should not go into the pit.
Oh yeah.
You can send VS in the pit if you want, but really Lone Druid can solo it as long as you give him the Wave of Terror, you give the Medallion. I guess they are confident enough in their vision, and really not that many people are showing. They see Storm Spirit in the bot lane, and I guess that's enough. If you see Storm Spirit in the bot lane, then you're like, okay, they're definitely not contesting this.
Alright, so this is going to be, in my eyes, one of the defining moments of this game. How well do Penta hold on, or rather, how well did Planet Dog hold on to their mid lane of barracks? And also, are Penta going to be able to be forced back by this Clink split pushing? He doesn't have that Deso as of yet. They're going to end up bringing back the Venomancer to get the waves clear, but I mean, you got Greaves on the Veno, and that's a big part of this push. They need to make sure that they're together all as one for the pressure.
Yeah, so I think this is the right play. They're sending the Radiance Bear up to 1 lane. Thing is that Bat Rider, he can't kill it, but if he has a +1, they can kill the bear all by itself. But yeah, they need to make sure that all 3 lanes are simultaneously pushing, because if you give Clinks just 1 lane, he's going to mow it down.
And that Deso almost completed for him as well.
Yeah. Although BKB has now been completed for Spirit Bear, so I can definitely agree now with the option to go for the armor talent as opposed to the spell resistance talent. And they're all 5 migrating down. the bot lane as the bear kites the top creep wave.
Look at how much armor he has.
I know, it's ridiculous. And he's not standing next to any of his teammates either.
Yeah, he also doesn't have the medallion on him yet,
Yeah.
but I'm sure Boogie's going to
Okay, but they might be able to kill this bear now. If they go for the lasso on it. Well, they show. Oh yeah, they go for it.
All right, lasso pulls him back in. The burrow strike is there as well, coming to try and defend the bear. Possibly Fissure is out. Echo Slam as well. The damage is immense, and well, Blazemon barely ends up losing his bear. The A blast connects onto 2. They try and turn it with the burrow strike. Kaiser TPing away, not gonna happen. And they might even end up losing Milan over here as well. He's not. That's how he's. It's not.
Yeah, it was. I give full credit to DNZ on a super quick reaction. If he didn't land that fissure, there's no way that they would have been able to get any return kills at all. But he landed the fissure, managed to be able to get a position for an Echo Slam on 2, namely the Storm Spirit being the highest priority of the 2. And yes, they do lose a bear, and they do not successfully push that bot lane, but they still have plenty of time left on this Aegis, and Storm Spirit is now down to 6 Bloodstone charges and did not have enough gold to buy out his BKB, which he will if he sells his wand when he comes back, and he might have to, depending on how quickly this push comes, but if he's able to find some farm, he really needs to finish off this BKB.
We're 60 seconds away from having a second bear in this fight. Even as it stands, though, you've got a lot of other things that can make this work. There aren't any more drum charges, but all these auras together, and I mean, not to mention the fact that you've got Greaves on Veno, all these things.
Storm does complete his BKB. Glyph is used to cancel out the battle cry.
All right, here we go. There is a burrow strike. They jump into the back, trying to find somebody. Haven't been able to get it as of yet. Vengeful Spirit brought down low. Clinks is on top of him. Able to further. No, the cheese is there, though. They keep it alive, and now with the BKB third for the bear, they are not going to be able to deal with it super effectively. Milan about to be gone, and now also the Storm Spirit out of mana. Fissure not quite there to be able to break it up, as DNZ is very low, but will be able to walk away, and Kaiser's still being ran down. Steel Plague Wars, that's good. Oh, the swap back, though, until tanking down that Vengeful Spirit does finally fall, but so too will Kaiser. The end result is 3 dead, 50 seconds with no Storm Spirit, and this is going to be probably game.
Planet Dog looking heavily outclassed. Penta running a real clean Lone Druid strategy. Not needing any other real cores. Vengeful Spirit did not really build traditional core items. This Venomancer didn't build any of the typical, well, he eventually went into a Veil, but the Medallion, usually not that common on Venomancer. The Mechanism, not necessarily that uncommon, but still not the #1 choice for core Venos, but he's looking real good right now for Penta. And they're not GGing out yet, but it is Mega Creeps. And your team, I mean, you still have Aegis on Blazemon.
Yeah, there's the Echo Slam. Blazemon very low. The Aegis is going to wear off, or rather, excuse me, be used and reclaimed. DNZ dead. Okay, that's something, but yeah, that's a big bad bear. He's going to eat up poor little Rubik, and well, if they're not careful, they might end up losing some more here. I mean, at this point, though, it's almost irrelevant. Like, I don't think that they have the itemization.
No, they don't have the heroes
to deal with this.
Clinks can't do anything against Mega Creeps. He goes into a Diffusal Blade, which is, you know, generally the plan for most Clinkses, but not when you're down against a Mega Creeps. So, yeah, I mean, Penta is it's in the top half of the bracket. He's gonna get a kill on Jeffs.
Yeah. Still a little bit of hate thrown his way. But they're not going to GG out of this one. They're playing to the very end. It might actually be their tournament life on the line. Burrow Strike, Epicenter out as well. Bear Low is actually going to end up dying as well as the Lone Druid. Okay. Penta.
Well, okay.
Stolen swap.
Okay, can we calm down a little bit, Penta? I know it's great that you beat the #1 standing right now, but there's no reason to have these kinds of silly ideas pop into your head, like let's all pile in one by one to their enemy base.
I mean, for Planet Dog, this is such a huge game. If they can, if they lose this now, it basically secures that Secret is through and the one that's going to be directly there to invite it, because Singularity lost to them earlier, which would mean even if they beat Secret, they would have 2 losses under their belt, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, but
and then they would lose the head-to-head, or potentially.
Potentially,
I mean, even if they, yeah, I guess if they win, then they would end up going to the head-to-head.
Right, and then, I mean, if they beat them once, then they could probably beat them again.
Right.
But yeah, no, I heavily agree that this is an incredibly important thing. So I think it's great that Planet Dog are not GGing out. This is TI qualifiers, and I do apologize for maybe making it seem like it's more over than well, it's pretty over. But I'm glad
We're
that the
not
players,
lying.
I'm glad that the players are not acting like it's over yet, because that's the mentality you need to have. This is TI. If you're not going to care about TI qualifiers, then you shouldn't care about anything.
Right. The 30 health regen on Ancient Apparition. Always a lovely talent to pick up.
Yeah, a lot of people are heavily contested on that. I've heard multiple justifications one way or the other. Like, so some people are like, oh, well, if you survive in the team fight for 4 seconds, it was basically like 120 HP talent, like plus 120 HP talent. And then other people are like, dude, if you take that much damage as an AA, you're probably going to die regardless. So at the minimum, I guess it means that you don't really need to go into Tranquil Boots, which is usually not something that you want to have to do on as AA, because you will take damage in general from fights. You won't get to critical damage, so it's not like 30 HP. It's like, oh, I'm out of a heart. I live everything. But yeah, I think it's game dependent. This game, I'm actually surprised that he did not go for the Ice Vortex cooldown, because he has this Venomancer. Like, whenever we first saw the first 3 picks of the draft, we were like, oh, look at all this magic damage. It's going to be great. But, you know, whatever. 30 HP is also fine.
I think that maybe there's some argument for, like, if all he needs to do is sit in the jungle and throw out Ice Blasts, then maybe you just sit in the jungle and farm with 30 health regen, and you never have to go back to base.
Because your Vortexes aren't going to do anything if you're just...
Right.
Yeah.
So, maybe one final last hurrah here if Penta really wanted to play it to be as safe as possible.
Oh, they were going to play it as safe as possible.
The next Roshan.
After they gave up 4 kills, they were like, let's wait for the next Roche, actually.
Oh, it's a long one.
It's a long one.
That's fine.
That's fun.
In the meantime, Kaiser maybe close to buying a Shadow Amulet.
Oh, wow. Rubik, how is this Rubik so farmed? Who has been buying wards on the side of Planet Dog? I don't understand. This Rubik has a pipe, a Blink Dagger, and Arcane Boots.
Well, they don't have a ward on the field right now, so maybe nobody.
True.
Maybe that's why they're in this position. I don't know. I don't want to be too hasty with my judgments, but it's not a good luck.
Are you implying that vision is useful in this game?
It's a possibility. But yeah, 17 to 18. 39 minutes in, I think that Planet Dog have proven that they're definitely one of the strongest teams out of this region, and if there is a team that, you know, was able to make it back, this could definitely be one of them. I think that the other thing that's kind of cool is, like, Death Pack with Mega Creeps.
True. It's delivery food.
Exactly.
They'll bring it to you.
Maybe that's the strat.
Maybe that's the strat.
You let yourself get Megas so that your Clinks hits really hard.
Because all things considered, I don't think that this Clinks is a good pick. They saw what was out on the draft. They picked this Clinks 4th, I believe, and it didn't do well in the laning phase. So it did do well in the laning phase. It did not do well in the mid game. And it only did well in the laning phase because he had like a tri-lane behind him. And the Venomancer was a solo hero, so you would hope at least got some kills, no matter what hero you are. But the mid-game is where Clinks is supposed to shine, and that did not happen in the slightest this game. And so, you know, if you had a better mid to late game carry, you would have probably had a little bit easier time participating in team fights. Because Clinks, whenever he joined into a team fight, like, he was able to pick off 1, maybe 2 targets, and that was it.
Yeah. Hey, look at this. 3-3. They realize he's in the area. There was a sticky napalm cast off to the side. They might be wrapping around to see if they can find him here.
Yeah, both teams know that Roche is imminent.
Kaiser is scouted out as well. He's going to get the quick jump away. Batrider, unfortunately, might not be so lucky. We'll see if they can catch him. He's up here to the north, and it's going to be fireflying to his heart's content. But
he has no idea what's going on behind him. He thinks he's just having a pretty chill time. No.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Okay, I like that.
Well, they baited the swap. That's a thing, I'm sure.
Roche is up. Boogie had been planting wards, preparing for the moment. And I don't really see... Okay, so you and I did cast that other game, which had Lotus Mega Creep come back. I also was pretty set on the fact that that game was over. But I'm more confident that this game is over.
Yeah. I think so as well. They're actually buying a second BKB just in case they could hit the racks with Blazemon, I'm assuming, if they want to.
Oh, yeah.
But you just BKB and hit the Ancient, I think it's done. They're buying back now on the Bat Rider. Maybe going to think about lassoing the bear yet again, pulling him inside of the fountain. They got him caught for the moment. Kaiser, he gets his BKB off, turns the Ancient Apparition. That health regen, keeping him alive. He's back up to full HP yet again. Jumping forward here, they have caught onto the Clinks, and he is going to die. Buy back into the game immediately, but unfortunately with the BKB popped, it's all too much damage. They don't have the control that they need. Well, Blazemon actually maybe going to end up going down. They get the Glimmer Cape off at the last second, and he is going to be able to survive through it in spite. I mean, he's alive on 6 HP. They haven't even burned through the Aegis yet. This is the Ancient falling. This is the end of the game. Penta have taken down Planet Dog.
I mean, I respect Planet Dog. Like, I have no issues with the fact that they didn't GG out. I'm glad that they didn't. But I don't think that their draft worked in their favor. And I'm pretty sure, like, after the first 10 minutes, I mean, even you and I were like, this game is not looking good. And I'm kind of rooting for Planet Dog because I want someone to give Secret a run for their money. But it was not looking good for them even after the first 10 minutes. The Storm Spirit pick was nice, but the fact that he got relegated into the jungle so early on meant that he couldn't contest his Lone Druid, and Blazemon just went off. And
16,000 building damage. That's a lot of building damage.
That's basically like
that's all the buildings.
That's all the buildings.
So Neil, that does it for us two for now, at the very least.
Correct.
Through these EU games, it was exciting. It was fun. I think that Planet Dog proved that they've got themselves some solid players and some good team making decisions. Like all in all, it feels like there's a lot of strength there, but it's just about like making sure that they possibly don't get caught off guard with the draft. The Lone Druid was definitely a great pick.
Yeah, for sure. But hopefully they're able to recover. Maybe Secret might drop a few games. Singularity, I imagine, was not a team that a lot of people were like, oh yeah, Secret's definitely not going to be able to beat Singularity, but it happened.
Right.
Same thing happened with SG Esports at Kiev, so anything is possible in this region.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us too. Back some more EU Dota, I think, in a little bit on this channel.
Coming up next will be Mouse Sports versus Team Alliance.
Okay, that's a big one for figuring out the probably, I think, 3rd and 4th spot into the playoffs. That's going to be a big one.
Correct.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, be back in a few. More Dota 2. Rick and Tsunami. See you guys in a bit.